Miami Dolphins, we got your back. Saturday noon is the place to be. Catching Dolphins, talking fantasy. From the field to the fan debate. Fins talk today, don't be late. Fins up, we ride until the end. With Bobby and Hank, they're your best friends. Podcast popping every week, no delay. Join the crew, Fins talk today. Live chatting, stats so prime. Miami hustle all the time. News and views will pave the way. Dive on in the Fins talk today. Top plays and what way from. Hank, Miami Dolphins, we got your back. Saturday noon is the place to be. Catching Dolphins, talking fantasy. From the field to the fan debate. Fins talk today, don't be late. Fins up, we ride until the end. With Bobby and Hank, they're your best friends. Podcast popping every week, no delay. Join the crew, Fins talk today. Live chatting, stats so prime. Miami hustle all the time. News and views will pave the way. Dive on in, it's Fins talk today. Top plays and what went wrong. Breaking down each game so strong. Fans united, feel the beat. Fins talk, Taylor can't be beat. Fins up, we ride until the end. With Bobby and Hank, they're your best friends. Podcast popping every week, no delay. Join the crew, Fins talk today. Fins up, we ride until the end. With Bobby.
Now that should work. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone, to another episode of Fins Talk today on the Fins Talk Sports Network. I'm Bobby Fins Talk, joined always by, nope, Fish Tank ain't here, not yet. Missing in action. Who can blame him? What a crazy week. Start of week 2 for the Miami Dolphins. Not only on Thursday night do they get beat down by the Buffalo Bills, but we lose our starting quarterback Tua Tagovailoa to a concussion, severe concussion, still waiting to find out more details on him. Obviously, we are more concerned about his personal health more than anything. Hopefully he's taking time with his family, getting better, and he's feeling healthy, and everything else is less important. But that loss was pretty damn bad. A lot of noise, though, regarding Tua Tagovailoa and what he should do. Everybody seems to have an opinion, and I think everybody's opinion should matter. Obviously, it is his decision to make on what he should do regarding his future. Obviously, we all know he's a competitor. He's going to want to be on that football field, but it is ultimately his decision to make. But everyone, especially Dolphin fans, should have a right to voice how they feel on this situation in regards of speculating and questioning what's next. And we're going to discuss just that. But yeah, as we await Fish Tank Hank, see if he will pop in. I'm going to drop in here the link for those who want to pop in and talk. The Dolphins lost to Buffalo and the injury to Tua and what they think could happen. We are waiting on that. The question I had in regards to Tua to start it out really was if he did retire or was forced to, if he decided to retire compared to being forced to retire, what happens to his contract? Obviously, I have not seen, I don't think anybody really has seen the details of that deal. However, we do have some inkling of what would occur and how it would play out. Spotrac posted yesterday how that may play out. Pull that up here. At Spotrac on X. He says, while a full recovery is the only real focus here, in response to questions regarding Tua's contract, the deal includes $167 million guaranteed for injury, $43 million of which has been paid in 2024. If he's medically cleared to return to football but opts to retire, he will forego the remaining $124 million guaranteed, barring a custom settlement with the Miami Dolphins. And if he's medically forced to retire, he has the right to collect $124 million guaranteed remaining on the deal. The other side of this equation gets a little tougher. If Tua is able to pass a physical next March, the Dolphins will have the ability to release him with only his $50 million of his 2025 compensation on the hook. And to his 2026 compensation, $56 million. Let me make sure I have that right. Excuse me, $54 million becomes fully guaranteed on March 14th. A post June 1st release prior to this is $83.6 million of dead money across the 2025-26. So it doesn't look easy. It's if I read something I say I read, if he is cleared to play but decides to retire on his own by his own decision, he's not forced, then he's paid a certain amount. I think it's that $43 million guaranteed, and then Miami doesn't owe him. But if he's medically cleared but opts to retire, he will forego the remaining of the $124 million guaranteed. But if he's forced into retirement, if they say, hey, man, you cannot play anymore, and the Dolphins say, hey, we don't feel comfortable for you to come onto the field, then he has a right to collect the remaining 24 because that $43 million was already paid to him. So it gets dicey when Miami's cap situation now after the Dolphins agreed to extend him. Obviously, there's a lot of opinions and suggestions, and, all of them are in the right. I can understand most everybody's point of view on this situation. What's more important in this situation, obviously, because we don't have a right, we don't get to decide. That's on Tua to decide if he wants to continue playing, if he's healthy enough. That's a family decision. That's his personal decision. I happen to pay, like, if I was to talk to him, or if it was my decision, or if it was somebody who was in my family, I know what I would say. We'll get into that. Spotrac also had on there, which was interesting, and I appreciate them putting that up there. Current and potential available quarterbacks in Miami's case. This is more, to me, as a Dolphins fan, we could speak to that. Because are we truly comfortable? Are you truly comfortable with Skylar Thompson playing for the foreseeable future? We know he's going to play against Seattle. Mike McDaniel's already strongly hinted at that. We have the Seattle Seahawks, the New England Patriots. Make sure I get the right teams here. No, okay. We got the Seahawks, the Dolphins, the Titans, the Patriots, and the Colts before the bye week. So they could opt to say, hey, you know what? Even if he's out for one game, if they tell him, hey, look, take these next few weeks off. Wait until the bye. That gives you an extra week. Take on, Skylar as quarterback, Seahawks, Titans, Patriots, Colts. Miami has a talented enough team, I believe, that could win at least half those games. I'm not going to go through each one. Obviously, we'll see how the Seahawks do tomorrow. But if Miami could at least escape those games, winning at least 2 or 3 of them, and then Tua could come back against Arizona, that could be best case scenario. Are we comfortable enough, though, with Skylar Thompson at quarterback? I'm not. I've been calling all offseason. I know everybody was complaining about Tua's deal, and obviously now, more than ever, we're looking at that deal going, damn. But I was more worried about the backup quarterback situation because of a situation like this coming up. Tua's not just missing one game now. He's going to miss a handful of games. So now you're stuck with stuck with Skylar Thompson or Tim Boyle playing quarterback. And look, I'm going to root them on. You don't know. Hey, we don't know. We've seen Skylar Thompson play, but now he gets a week as the starter. He's going to have 10 days to practice with the starting unit, with the offensive playbook. He may come out and ball out with Tyreek and Jalen and Devon Achane against Seattle, and all is right in the world. That would be great. That would be amazing. We're going to root for him to do that. Currently, do we have faith in that? I'm going to be honest, full disclosure, before the season, 100% no. I was pounding the table for a veteran backup quarterback. So in case Tua was out for a handful of games or he didn't sign his deal and held out, we had a reliable guy. Dolphins did right. They released Mike White. He wasn't good. He wasn't good. He signed with Buffalo. Maybe he'll get released this week. Maybe they just wanted him for inside details. Who knows? Who cares? But decided to keep Skylar Thompson and go with Tim Boyle. Now look at the situation that it presents itself. Obviously, they're paid the big bucks to make these decisions. They feel comfortable with Skylar Thompson. I get it. I'm cool with that. I ain't comfortable with it, though. Ryan Tannehill, Ben DiNucci, Blaine Gabbert, Matt Barkley, Trevor Siemian, Mike White, Desmond Ridder, Nathan Peterman, Tyler Huntley, Trey Lance, Josh Dobbs. Tyler Huntley's on the Baltimore practice squad. Trey Lance is the Dallas quarterback. Third string, Josh Dobbs in San Francisco currently has QB3. Ridder, Peterman on the practice squads on Arizona and Atlanta. Look, these are the names that I would be. First off, Coach Jay in the house. Appreciate you watching. Chef, as always, brother, it's so good to see you, my man. I hope you and your family are doing well. I appreciate that. Subscribe, like, share, and donate. Help the channel grow. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, my man. 100%. We don't have to be comfortable with what we're going into, right? I prefer someone else back there. But when it comes to game day, we should all be rooting for Skylar Thompson to ball out against the Seattle Seahawks or whomever they're going to face, right? We should all be pounding the table for him to do his best. And again, it's okay to have confidence in that because there's too much talent on this offense, minus the O-line, too much talent to fail. We know how important Tua is to this football team. We know how important he is to this offense. There is no question about it. No one could argue that. Whether you believe in him, whether you don't, whatever. We know how important he is. And we're going to lose games because he's not in there. I get it. But this team is too talented not to come out of here with some wins. We should be able to overcome this. Now, looking at these names, Chef, Coach, everybody who's tuning in, I appreciate you, whether you're watching on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, wherever you're watching, I appreciate you. Put in the comments, if not Skylar Thompson, if not Tim Boyle, the names we're talking about here, who would you have? 100%, Chef, you are ambassador of the FTSN, man. I appreciate you, my man. Aladino, brother, good to see you as well. So Ryan Tannehill, let me go through some of these names right here. Ryan Tannehill, obvious name, playoff proven. He's won playoff games in Tennessee, playoff caliber veteran. He's not a starter in the NFL anymore. He's a vet, but you see the likes of Joe Flacco. You see the likes of some of these other vets who come in and win games for teams. He could be that for Miami. Now, I know the stigma. I get it. He was our Tua before Tua. He was our first-round quarterback. We stuck with him. We fought with him. He made a run to the playoffs. He got hurt. Matt Moore came in, and then it all went downhill from there. I understand. It's like, but it's Ryan Tannehill. Think about what he could bring. He's a veteran presence. What he could do for a Skylar Thompson. giving him that ear. And like, obviously, I believe if you were to sign any of these guys, they're not going to start against Seattle. They're gonna back up Skyler. But then you have a veteran guy back there who's been there, done that, who's been in this organization, who's been there for this city, who comes in, who's been there in Tennessee, who won playoff games. He's there with Skyler. Let me walk you through this. And if Skyler can't get it done, then you go, okay, now let's go Ryan Tannehill. Obviously, the fan base is going to erupt. It's gonna be a good thing for Miami, and then I believe because of the veteran presence, because of the talent around him, he's going to win some games. I'm 100% on board with signing Tannehill until Tua comes back, or to back up Tua when he gets back, or if he ever gets back. Chef says go with Tannehill or trade for Sam Howell. I'm on board with that too. Again, Sam Howell. Look what these other teams. Look what Jacksonville did. They have Trevor Lawrence. He's their franchise quarterback. No one is going to replace them. But what did they do? They went and traded for Mac Jones. Arizona, they have Kyler Murray. What did they do? They traded for Desmond Ridder. You see what the Pittsburgh Steelers did. They signed Russell Wilson for $1 and then traded for Justin Fields, who many Chicago fans at first did not want to get rid of. They did it. And what happened? Russell Wilson doesn't even start the season. And what did they have? They don't figure out, oh my God, we got to start with Mitch Trubisky or whomever the heck they had. They went and got, plug in Justin Fields. Not that he's some big thing, but my goodness, it's better than Mike White. Coach Jay, I like Tannehill a lot. He's a safe choice, 100%. Ben DiNucci, Blaine Gabbert, Matt Barkley. They don't do anything for me. Trevor Siemian obviously doesn't do anything for me. He's just, and not that he hasn't come in and done some things before when he's had his name called, but it's like, Desmond Ridder, I'm intrigued by. Young. Atlanta really liked him. A lot of people loved him as he was in Atlanta and what he could possibly be. Could he be that in Miami if given the opportunity? It's interesting. Nathan Peterman, reliable, right? He's in Atlanta currently. Could be the second string, third string, whatever. You might be playing with him. Tyler Huntley, obviously, with Baltimore. A lot of people wanted him to be that backup guy once they got rid of Mike White. I know my brother Harrison was banging the table for Huntley. He's on the practice squad currently. Is there a way Miami could figure that out? I don't know. I know a few people on the channel have said Trey Lance, QB3, former San Francisco 49ers quarterback. Hasn't done much. But he's athletic. He's raw. Mike McDaniel might be still able to mold him into something. Who I like, honestly, again, obviously Josh Dobbs, Ryan Tannehill. Josh Dobbs, every time that dude has had an opportunity, he showed up. He's not a starter in this league, not long-term. But that's who I banked for in regards, besides Tannehill, to be the backup quarterback. If Miami could go and call San Francisco and says, hey, can we give you a 5th rounder for Josh Dobbs? That would be great. I'd be 100% on board with that. He backs up Skylar Thompson. If Skylar struggles in the next week or two, plug in Josh Dobbs until Tua comes back, or you decide what the hell happens from there. What Miami might really do, go get back Mike White. That's such a Dolphins thing to do right now. That's such a Mike McDaniel, Chris Greer thing to do. It's like, okay, he's familiar with the offense. We like him. Let's go get Mike White. I know what I would want. I know what most of you would want. But let's be real. What Miami might actually do here is go back and get Mike White. And check on something very quick over here. Can we trade? No, can't trade for Bo Nix. It's tough. It's a crappy situation for the Dolphins, for the fans, especially for Tua. The work he's put in. Again, love him, hate him, whatever. No one could say anything about Tua and the work he's put in every season on trying to get himself better. The commitment. Last year, try to play a full season, gains weight, does jiu-jitsu, plays a full year, has a great year up until December, 8-3, and then falls off. And that's everybody. That was the whole Dolphins team. Comes in this offseason, decides he's going to try to slim down, does so, tries to make a play in a game that was just dead in the water, the Buffalo game. Miami got humbled quick. They couldn't big brother. They couldn't do it. He's trying to make a play. And if you've been watching the show, I've been telling him, please don't run head first. But I get it. He has a heart of a competitor. He's just trying to make a play. He doesn't see where the first down is. He's just trying to get it. And it was more him than DeMar Hamlin. That was all Tua head first, ramming him himself into there. And then it was scary, man. It's scary to see. I knew exactly, as soon as he went down and his arm stretched out, it's like, I've had concussions before, and it's like not as bad, but I know that's bad. And, to see that, thank God he was able to get off the field. Thank God he was able to walk off the field and be with his family. And hopefully he's at home and he's relaxed and, he's getting, he's with his family, and with his children. Words and hidden doors. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. He is done. Charmaine, great to see you. Mike say we will have a new quarterback. Yeah, Mike McDaniel did say the Dolphins will search for a veteran quarterback that he believes in Skyler. And that's why I brought up those names. Who could it be? Again, I wouldn't be shocked if they did try to bring in Mike White again, who's on the practice squad in Buffalo. Ryan Tannehill's the obvious name for most fans because we know him, but we also know what he's done. Let's be real. We know what he's done in this league post Miami. Yeah, I don't understand how that doesn't make sense, but Josh Dobbs with San Francisco, Trey Lance, he did say veteran quarterback. So that sticks out to me. Make sure I ain't missing anything here. Let me pop this up very quick. All right. But yeah. And in regard to look again, no doubt. We know it is his decision. The most important thing is for him to be healthy. That's no question. And it's not on us to decide if he should or should not come back. He signed on a contract. It's between him and his family. But I know what I would tell him. I know what he is worth to this team. I know how important he is to this team and to our goals for this football season. But as a person, as a human being, I'd say, brother, it's not worth it, man. Focus on you. Focus on your health. Focus on your family. 3 times, 4 times too many. And they're severe. These aren't light concussions. I'd love to see you back on the football field. You give us our best chance to win. We don't have anybody else right now. I don't have faith in Skyler or Tim Boyle. There's no one else back there who's going to be able to do it. You are. I want, best case scenario is to see you out there. What is it the best case for you? We've seen the history. We know what this does, multiple concussions. If I was advising him, I'd say, you got paid, you got your money, you know what's guaranteed. Go home. You've had an amazing career in regards of just football, college football, Alabama national championship. You've defied expectations. You came back from major injuries and had a short but successful in regards of statistics and everything else in the NFL. You led the number one offense in football. But again, not my decision to make, not my words to be heard. That's between him and his family. It would be good to see him out there if he did come back sometime this season. But how many times are we going to cringe when he takes a hit? Ralphie boy! Someone who knows the system and McDaniel and take the offense further. I'm sick of this. Football is made of two halves. No way we're going to bed. Murphy's Law kicking in. So that's another thing I want to say too. I understand. This is what I was saying on post game. My brother Finn stands in. I know he's watching. He's listening. But he knows where I was coming from, and I know where he's coming from. We know each other very well. And I will say, and I just says this for everybody who's with this thought process, it is just week 2. I just heard on the Finn's Tailgate podcast, they said this, and it's so true. Someone said it. It is only just week 2. The season's not over. Finn Sands is the first one to talk about Coach McDaniel and his frustrations with him. This is the greatest test for Mike McDaniel right now. You don't have Tua anymore. Tua's gone for a little bit. You got Skyler or whomever you're going to bring in. Let's see what you can do. Let's see if you could adjust with a new QB. Let's see if you could put a winning program together, a winning game plan together without Tua as your quarterback. You got to change things up. This is the ultimate test for Coach McDaniel, who also just got an extension as well. I think this team is way too talented to think that the season's over. And whoever out there saying, hey, lose out, let's get a top 5 pick, stop it. Win every game. Do your best to win. That's an excuse to do it. This is week 2 of the NFL. If Tua going down is your excuse to tank, then you should all be fired. You had all off season. You've had 3 seasons to build this team up to withstand any injury. Next man up. Of course, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that it is a huge downgrade to what you had. But you have enough time to build this roster to withstand a big injury. 3 years, excuses are out the book. I agree with Cap for life on that. There is no excuse. I don't want to hear anything about injuries. I don't want to hear anything about anything. This is it. You knew Tua's history. You knew Terron Armstead's history. You knew what you had with this offensive line, and you laughed at the media and the fans who were concerned with the offensive line, who had a terrible showing in week 2 compared to week 1. You laughed. You're more worried about it than we are. That's what Greer said. And look what happened on Thursday night. Now Tua's gone. And you have people saying out there, tank. Go get a quarterback. Look, if Tua can't play, absolutely go get a quarterback, but don't you dare tank. You better show the hell up. You better win some football games because I don't give a damn. I don't want to hear, he didn't have a quarterback, Tua got hurt, and that's why we were 1-16 or 2 and whatever, or 3 or whatever. Give him another. No, bullcrap. It's just on Mike McDaniel as it is on Chris Greer. You've built this team. You've had 3 seasons. Now you're facing adversity. You better show out. You better get your guy going. Skyler better be looking really good. You better get these guys ready to go. You have Tyreek Hill, the number 1 player in the NFL, voted by his peers. You got Devon H, and that kid's a superstar. You got Jalen Waddle. Jonnu Smith looked really good. You got Jalen Ramsey, one of the star corners. I know he's been struggling this season to start it off. It's week 2. But you got Jalen Ramsey back there. Jalen Phillips. Calais Campbell. Zach Sealer. You have enough talent on this team not to tank, whoever your quarterback is. Not having Tua is going to ding you. I had this team 12-5. Yeah, you can knock down probably 2 losses. 10-7. That's the floor. I said that was the floor of this team for this season. The ceiling was 12. Now we're looking at the floor. Anything below that is not excusable. I don't want to hear anybody bring up excuses with the injuries. The Dolphins knew the history. The front office knew the history of these players. I don't blame the players for injuries. Injuries happen. But you knew Armstead's history, and he went down. He's not going to play this week. You got Kendall Lamb, but how did Kendall Lamb do? And I like Kendall Lamb. Everybody was saying, why didn't we put Patrick Paul in? You got to give that kid time, man. Aladino, 100%. I'd be thinking about those 2 beautiful kids. Absolutely. A lot of all my decisions are based off my children and my wife. She's the boss. You want to hear her. But 100%, man. 100%. And I hope he does. I know his mom, that's at least what was reported, that his mom really pushed him to try to retire 2 seasons ago when he got 3 concussions, major concussions. And he fought out of it, and he had a good year last year. Now he has this big one here in the second game of the season. You know, dude, come on, bro. Charmaine, do you put Tua in the game back from protocol deep in the playoffs? So if he's been out for the majority of the season, let's say Miami goes on a run, Skyler, whomever back there, let's say Tua gets clear, but it's like, they're like, hey, dude, just wait it out. And then Tua clears protocol and Miami's in the playoff or Miami's in the wild card and, Skyler goes down, yeah, right? I mean, or if they're doing great, Miami's in the playoffs and Tua comes back, do you take those guys out to put Tua in? I think they would do that. I wouldn't. Again, it's risky and you mess with the flow of the team, but I know those, obviously those his teammates want him out there. They all want him out there. I mean, we all want him out there right now compared to what's available to us. But let's see. Give me a moment here, guys. Let me go. And I'm going to put this here too. You want to pop in and talk, give your thoughts. Since my co-host was a no-show today, that's okay. Things happen. Hopefully he's doing good. Make sure here. Well, let me ask you this for those in the comments right now. Again, respectfully, we can't decide whatever. Not on us, right? But if you were Tua or in his situation, or if you were his family, what would you say? Is there anybody out there would tell him, hey, man, try again. You could do this. Live out your dream. Finish your dream. Or would you say, hey, this was your son, your brother, your husband, whatever, Would you tell him to stop? Would you encourage him to stop? If he were Tua, obviously, where his heart is. He has a heart of a competitor. He is a warrior, no doubt. But as Aladino says, you'd be thinking about those 2 kids. Would you go back out there? Would you risk it just to say you did it? Or would you say, you know what, man? I know the history of this. I want to be there for my kids. It's a tough question, man. It's hard. Let me see here. Sure, I'm not missing anything as it pops up. Interesting enough, though, the Miami Dolphins are 1-point favorites against Seattle in week 3. Interesting enough. Again, too much talent. Too much talent on this roster. No doubt. Absolutely. Okay, I might be able to get somebody on here. All right. We send him the link. Be George of the Fins Faithful podcast will be popping on with me soon. You know, hopefully Fish Tank is good. He's probably worn out. He's been partying for 2 weeks. He's been in South Florida. Partying out, probably bummed out over that loss. Bummed out over Tua. He's probably trying to sleep it off. It's understandable. It's all good. But right here, Skylar will practice with the ones. Yes, and next game, let's see what happens. Give Skylar credit. Look, even if they found someone this week before the game, they have 10 days. They sign a veteran. Let's say they go and get Josh Dobbs out of San Francisco or Ryan Tannehill, off free agency. Skylar's going to start. Mike McDaniel is committed to Skylar Thompson starting this football game. He is a loyal guy. He's going to give Skylar an opportunity. So it doesn't matter who we sign before this game. Skylar's going to start. And we're going to see how he responds after a full 10 days of practice and all that. Make sure. Perfect. George will be with me shortly, but let's get in. Robbie boy.
Hey, Robbie. What's happening, bro?
What's up? How you doing?
I'm a little disappointed, We did not match Buffalo's intensity. They came to play. They put the weather aside. I like the fact that we tried to run the ball and we didn't go away from it very much. I believe now we don't have a choice but try Skylar out. Let him practice with the ones. He's got plenty of time. And then let's see what we can do with the running game. And Weaver's excellent defense. I know he's going to fix his defense. These guys got to match the intensity of the Bills, and that's the way you play a game. The hell with the running, the hell with everything else. And that was one of those night games, which we've had problems with the big games.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like I said, Murphy's Law kicked in. We got Tua hurt. If I was Tua, I would take the money and run. Okay, as much as people are going to hate me for saying that, I think it's the best thing for his family and for the man. The man's too good of a person to have him as a vegetable. In my opinion.
Yeah, I get. And no, that's okay, right? Again, it's his decision to make. I talked about the cap, how it affects the cap, and I'll try to find that again so I could remind everybody exactly how it went down, but. Again, if I was him, I would make that same decision. I would say, you know what, I love this game, but I got to think about my health. I got to think about my kids. I got to think about my family. This is 4 major concussions in 2 seasons or 3 seasons, right? I mean, these aren't, I've had a concussion. I have a couple concussions before, but that's very light. I've never had any kind of major thing. He had major, his hand spasming out and his arm and all this. It's scary to see. And, you got to think about him. We know what
Bobby,
he does.
When I saw the players in one knee, I knew it was bad. And it was what we don't need. Everybody's biggest nightmare came true against the Bills. They are our daddy. They own us. They're right. But guess what? You and I went to that Ajayi game where the running game kicked in and he played 200 yards and Drake was behind him playing well too. I like this kid Jackson, our regular running back that took most of his place. What's his name?
Raheem Mostert?
The running back. 28.
Oh, Devon Achin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He plays well. It's going to be a good 1-2. Put Skylar. Skylar can run. Use you guys. You got a couple weeks now before your next game. Okay? Let the ones work with Skyler. It's not Tua. It's not going to be Tua. Tua, forget about it. Right now, it's going to be at least till the bye if he comes back. Okay? But I hope for his sake, he decides to hang it up because he's too good of a person, as far as I'm concerned. You know? And basically, Bobby, I'll hang out with you if you want, but I'm very upset that Buffalo brought in intensity. We made them look like world beaters. They're not world beaters. They can be beat, okay? And we can beat them. We have the capability and we have the players. Raheem played like crap in the cornerback. We have other guys that are coming in, rookies. I know that Armstead is a big key and he's out, but guess what? You're going to have to plug in Paul. Let him get that early experience. Let's work with Paul. We got to work with what we got, Bobby. Don't forget when the Dolphins went undefeated, I was there in that game. I'm an old school person. Okay. Steve Malloy knows what I'm talking about because he was there too. Okay. That was the Orange Bowl. That was back then, the day. And Greasy got hurt. And who went in? Earl Morrow. A heck of a backup, He backed up Unitas when Unitas was with the Colts, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, I really believe that the Dolphins need to look at what they got and not lose their mind. Just go with what they got and, take care of things.
No,
Go ahead.
No, you're right. It's you got to go with what you got, and that's why I say. And first off, I saw Cat pop in here. He just disappeared, but Cat, happy you're tuning in, and hopefully you pop back up in here, get your take. But Richard says at this point it should be not up to him. What about the damn team? Everybody worries about him. What about the team? What's up to him, Richard, is will he come back? Will he say no? I'm not going to retire. I'm going to keep playing. I got guaranteed money. What's up to the team is saying, hey, you know what? I know we just signed you to this big deal, but we don't have faith that you could stay healthy. Because if we don't go and make a move here and go get someone who could stay healthy relatively, especially a brain injury, then we're hot. We're making ourselves hot. Now, Miami did sign the deal. They just signed this deal, and this happens. So, Yeah, you're right, Richard. It should be up to the team to decide if they're going to move forward. But we know Mike McDaniel is committed to Tua. And that's why I found it very interesting. McDaniel would say what he said to Tua, obviously came off field. You're the starting quarterback for your family, meaning get off this field, go home, figure this out. It's up to the Tua to decide if he's going to keep playing. It's up to the Dolphins to decide if they want to keep moving forward with him as quarterback. But they did sign him to this deal. Miami handicapped themselves. It is what it is. But until he comes back, Steve Malloy in the house says exactly, Ralphie. Until he comes back, you go with what you've got. That's why I've said, and Ralph knows this. Ralph and I talked. Ralph, in full disclosure, Ralph's my stepfather, guys. So he popped in here. So but I talked to him enough. I've said, and I'll say it right now. I talked about it the other day. No, there's no excuses. Miami knew what they were getting themselves into this football season. They knew who their backup was. They knew who their third string was. Let's go ahead. Very quick, Ralph. I'm going to get George in here of the Fins Faithful podcast.
Sure.
So kind enough to join me.
What's up, brother?
George, how you doing, my man?
Oh, man. That Thursday night was
brutal.
probably one of the most disheartening games I've ever watched. From start to finish, literally, brother.
George, first I want to introduce you to my stepfather, Ralph, who popped in for me there. I dropped the link down there. So that's my stepfather in the show here with us.
Hey, Ralph. How you
doing, guys?
Nice to meet you. I'm George.
How you doing, George?
Good, good.
Welcome to the show.
George,
Thanks,
man, we talked on Buffalo. We're talking today about Tua, man, because of this situation that we're in as Dolphin fans, but also what he's dealing with right now. I haven't seen a lot from you on Twitter or anything about the situation, but obviously we know this decision is on Tua to keep playing. Should he keep playing? It's up to him. For me as a father, you got to think about your kids. This is the fourth major concussion that you've dealt with. Obviously, his mom 2 seasons ago tried to convince him to retire. He decided not to do it. First, asking you this. Let's say if you're in Tua's shoes,
Hi,
what
Megan.
would you do in this situation? Hi, May. Hi, Bill.
Wow, that's it's. I mean, honestly, I didn't go on right away because I was still reflecting on all this because this is a tough situation to kind of navigate. Look, when he went down, it was. I don't know if you guys felt this, but as he took off and put his head down, I kind of felt this was a car accident I saw coming.
Yep.
The minute I was watching the game with my brother, and it happened, and then you saw the finger. You know, we looked at each other like, "Did this really just happen?" He's in a tough spot because from what we know of Tua, this is all he knows. This is what he identifies himself as a football player. But at some point here, Bobby and Ralph, he's got to figure out here. Mike McDaniel said, "You're the quarterback of your family," and if it was my son, I know what I would tell him. Hey,
Yeah.
I don't know what the next. You could listen. He'll be cleared eventually. I think, right?
Yeah.
I think you and I think whether it's a month, 5, 6, weeks from now, he'll be cleared. I think.
Yeah.
What does the next hit look like? Because these concussions he gets, a lot of these players get concussions, but his just look different. You and I can diagnose this from the couch. That's how graphic they are, and that's my concern. There's concussions we don't even know about from guys on this team and other teams. But and I'll tell you, it reminded me when I first started doing the podcast, Bob, in the beginning days, and I heard about his weight loss. I said, "Ooh, I don't know quite how I feel about it," because I knew his mentality was going to take him to, "Hey, I'm going to try to run. Yeah. I'm going to try to take off. I want to prove that I can create these improv plays like the Mahomes and these other guys, the Allens. I want to prove the narrative wrong." If it was me, I'd have that long conversation, obviously listen to the medical team. But I think Tua's got to seriously consider here. And I hate to say retiring, right? Because who am I to tell somebody to leave all that money on the table? Who am I to tell? It's a lot of money. Let's be real here. There's a personal side to it, but there's also a business side to this.
Yeah.
And he's thinking about that too. But it's just the way it looks. I know if it was my kid, I'd tell him to hang it up, right? I think I don't know if Tua's going to do that though. If I'm being honest, I don't think we know. I don't think Tua. Yeah, I think you and I know it is. Yeah, I think you and I probably know what's going to end up happening here. We'll see him again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, George. He likes football too much.
Yeah.
I know. I'm sorry, George. Go ahead.
No, you go. I made my point. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say he loves football. These guys, they do it because they love the game, and they do it because they have families, and they could use. He earned what he got. The money he's got, he earned it. Okay, let's be honest. They talked a lot of bad things about the kid. The kid been through hell and back. But this is now, you have a baby girl, and I don't know if he's got a boy too or not, but he's got another one coming, I believe. I mean, you're a daddy, bro. You take care of that little girl, help her grow up, and your boys, and let's go, There's other things in life,
Yeah, that's a good point.
For his family. For his family, he should consider for now as a pro. I really believe that knowing Tua, the way I think I know him, he's probably going to want to come back. Just like he put his head down, just like he got that hair replacement. Go ahead, Bobby.
No, I was going to say, we got Cap for life in backstage on audio. Let me throw in Cap here, friend of the channel. I think he's part of the FTSN family. But Cap, brother,
finally, you got Cap with me in the show.
What's up,
Cap? Good morning, fellas. Good morning, man. I would like to ask how everybody's feeling, but I think that's like a trick question to ask on this Saturday. Oh man, it's bad, Bobby, when Hank's not here, dude.
Yeah. He didn't want to show up. He didn't want to talk. Yeah, man, it's crazy, bro. But man, I would love to get your thoughts on this whole situation and with the quarterback and what's gonna happen moving forward with Miami.
Well, man. Oh, well, first and foremost, Rafa, Finn Faithful. I mean, me and Bobby have been talking about this for years, dude. So he's pretty much knowing where my stance is. I'll support from a distance, even though I don't like what I see on the field. That's the way it is with the Dolphin fans, man. Even though we don't like what's going on, as a unit, we can all agree that we support this team and we support the logo. Now, with that being said, if you see something and you know something, we've always been taught to say, if you see something, say something, right or wrong.
True.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, and forgive me if I get bad reception, because my phone is horrible. At this point, I think they're putting a scrambler on my phone to shut me up. But I think the damage is already done. So my thing is, look, if you're quick. No, I know it's Garfinkel, but hey, you know what? At least he's watching us and acting like he knows us now, as opposed to ignoring us and only listening to the people that donate and spend their time.
Hey, by the way,
you know what I mean?
nice
Because
to meet you, brother.
it's just.
I've seen you on a couple other shows.
Yeah, no, hey. No, most definitely, man. And I'm glad to see new faces, because it just seems like everybody's jumping ship like a rat right now, bro. We're supposed to be 53 strong, and just because one guy goes down, all the fan base disappears. The same fan base that was hyping up our quarterback, all of a sudden now you can't even find them. So that's my issue with this fan base. It could be a hypocritical fan base and we can support each other. But dude, don't tell me that all of a sudden now the season's over just because one guy's not here. Now, if you want to complain about your season ticket money, that's different, because you paid for a product to see on the field that you did not get.
Yep.
So, like I said, I might be premature in this. We're going to support Skyler. We're going to support whoever comes here. But for people to jump ship, that for me tells me right now that they were only here for Tua and not for the team. Now, with that being said, also, we can rectify the situation by showing up to these games to support Skyler and for whoever the Dolphins get. Because I guarantee you, if we start making us think together as a collective unit and say we want our money back, I guarantee you they'll start making moves just to shut us up. And if they don't, then you know who you're dealing with. If they don't make a move now, then you know exactly who you're dealing with. They're going to put a guy back out there who's been force-fed 3 years in a row that he's the left hand of God and had to pay the price for it. I don't want this guy to come out here to prove a point because he already got paid. You spent a $200 million on the quarterback. You spent all the money on the offense, and you re-signed the coach. So for people to complain about any of the offense right now, you're screaming to an empty room and you're screaming to a wall. Nobody's going to listen to you. Unless the fan base gets together as a collective unit and complains finally so they can get heard. Because if not, your money's going to end up getting spent year after year with new logos that we don't want, and you're going to like it. And you're not going to be able to say jack. So my thing is, if you're willing to put this guy back on the field after the week, you're also complicit. Because we've been telling you guys for 2 years, he's going to end up getting.
Yeah.
Listen. Nobody listen. Now this guy's on the verge of becoming a paraplegic and scrambled eggs because he's trying to prove a point. Somebody needs to learn to tell this guy enough is enough. Now, I'm not saying to retire, but man, your family got generational wealth. What about our families that have been paying season tickets for years? How are you going to rectify our families?
Good point.
Right there.
That's the definition of a passionate fan right there, brother.
Hey, Cap brings it, bro.
Cap for life, he's everywhere, bro. Yeah.
Cap brings it, and you know, again, that's why. Like, I know a lot of people were saying, George, I'll let you get in here in just a sec. But you know, I've seen a lot of people saying, hey, who are you to talk? Don't say nothing. There's a lot of talk on there about this whole thing. Yes, when it comes to making a decision, that's Tua's decision. But as fans, we have every right to talk. Because again, we've talked about this.
Yeah, we're coming out of pocket about it. We're coming out of pocket.
This has been something we've been discussing for a while, and that's why, again, and Cap, I know you could carry this on, but that's why I say there's no excuses here. I don't want to hear anything about our team sucked because we lost Tua, and no, you knew what you were going into in this season with this team. You knew who your backup quarterback.
You knew exactly what you were getting into. You decided you knew exactly what you were getting into when you gave that guy the extension. Oh, now he has generational wealth. What about our family that's been paying generational money to this franchise and getting nothing in return? I think it's fair for us to say something now after 24 years.
I agree.
George?
But here's the problem. It's between Tua and the doctors, right? So if they clear him, there's not much the Dolphins.
Yeah, the same doctor that got fired for saying he wasn't going to clear him 2 years ago.
Right,
Now they're going to try to find another doctor that'll get paid to clear him, even though another doctor got fired in the process of not clearing him. When is enough enough?
I agree.
Yeah.
But I do think, though, now the doctor, it's going to be tough to find a doctor to put his name on this one. Now, after it happened again. And
Look at Chris Bosh, bro. As much as we love Chris Bosh, we wanted him to come back, but we wanted him to come back on the right terms. If a doctor wasn't going to clear him, why is there going to be a doctor that's going to clear Tua if Chris Bosh had blood clots and Tua's on the verge of getting hit one more time, and we don't know what's going to happen out of that outcome? Are you willing to take that gamble, even though you got paid already?
And here's the question too: when he does, let's say he does come back. I mean, he's got to play the game like it's going to limit your offense. You can't run anything but get the ball out in under 2.5 seconds because you know it's going to be in Tua's mind. Oh, I don't want to get hit. So what about the defenders? The defenders are going to be like, damn, I don't want to kill this kid. You know what I mean? So it's
No, look, what happened to the Buffalo defender, Hamlin, let me tell you something. Hamlin looked around like, is this happening again? That right there for that man is more traumatizing than anything, knowing that he just put the hand of God on Tua and told him, hey, man, you don't want to do this anymore. Because that's exactly what happened. The hand of God went through Hamlin to turn to Tua and let him know, bro, you got to think this out. You got kids now. We're not going to tell him what to do. But if something like that happens out of coincidence, that's a sign from God, bro.
Yeah. No, it's ironic that it was, the guy who basically died on the field is the one who ended up in the collision with Tua. But I have a question for you guys. Did you guys think because the hit didn't look bad? I saw something that on the play where he threw that interception, when he obviously did he fall in the back of it? I thought I
saw a video saying that he did. I didn't see the one where he threw the.
No. I don't even want to go there. Those interceptions were before the concussion. So anybody to try to put like a.
No.
No. He's saying was he concussed before during that interception when he got hit when he threw the interception? Not that he threw the interception because of a concussion. No, before the game. Look, hey,
there's no doubt.
Listen, before the game, from Tua to besides Devon Achane, everyone played like trash against Buffalo. The coach like trash. Anybody not named Devon Achane did not show up against the Buffalo Bills. That's why, again, I'll say it right now. Go ahead, Kat.
No, go ahead, sorry.
No, I was going to say, and you and George, Ralph, Kat, say this right now, and you guys hold me to it. I will not pick the Dolphins to beat the Buffalo Bills until Miami beats the Buffalo Bills. I will never do it again. They will not fool me.
100%, Bobby. 100%.
Fool me 100 again.
You know what it reminds me of? Remember we used to say the Patriots this year with Brady. They never, man. Never. And it reminds me of that.
There's only that one team Miami can't do it.
And this
every
Buffalo
decade,
now.
every 20 years, whatever you want to call it. I will never pick Miami to beat Buffalo. I don't care. Dude, they're gonna fall off because stop. Until they do it, I will never.
You know what irks me, bro? You know what pisses me off the most, though, guys? Skyler comes in the game. You're already putting him in behind the 8 ball with 3 picks. Check out with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I mean, that team checked out already by the time Skyler stepped on the field. And these guys are laughing on the bench after getting paid millions of dollars and leaving Skyler out there just to fend for himself.
Well, I got to tell you, George, what I saw on the field is a quarterback that is not practicing with the ones. He hasn't done anything. Whatever practice he's done with the 2s and 3s or whatever's out there as a practice squad type thing. Right now, he's in a scenario where he's going to be the man. So I really believe that if he's got he's got quickness, he can run, he can tug it and run, and the kid can throw. He's got an arm, but he's not Tua Tagovailoa. Tua will put it in a place and go.
But we need to support him. We need to support him like he's Tua. Everybody and their mother supported Tua. Why can't we support Skyler the same way?
That's right. 100% there, Cap. The 100%. I agree.
I want to say very quick, guys, very quick. Everyone who's watching
I agree.
now, from Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, I appreciate you. Richard, thank you so much for watching. I see Richard out there. He says, I'm older than all you guys. It was Buffalo for years, then it was New England, now it's Buffalo again. Steve Malloy, host of Real Talk Rants. Buffalo was daring us to pass. They wanted us to run. This offense has been limited for 3 years. Lo-Fi, as always, great to see you. Tua got hurt before the play. That just makes him even more injury prone than he could be allowed on the field. Look, that's the thing. That's the talk, right? I mean, we can make his decision for him. He has to decide if he's going to play. But the fans have a right to say, why do we still have to put up with this? If we can't trust that he could stay, he played one full season, then we need to make a move. That's why you go and trade for a Mac Jones or you go and trade for a Sam Howell or whatever before the season. You go make a move so you have a reliable backup where you go, okay.
But we can't do that, though. We can't do that. Why? Because we're going to hurt the Tua fans' feelings? F that, bro. We're past that point. We're at the point of no return.
Well, just to ricochet off that point, Bobby.
Go ahead, George.
To me, the bigger issue is the type of backup quarterback. Because the problem is this offense is suited strictly for a quarterback with the strengths of Tua Tagovailoa. They should have had somebody in here, a young player or something like that, who has similar, not Tua, but similar skill sets, like Tua, with more of an accurate, anticipatory thrower than somebody like Skyler, who's more of a gunslinger. It just doesn't match. It's like when the Ravens, they had Lamar Jackson, who was their backup, Tyler Huntley. Guys that, could run a similar style offense, guys who are athletic. It's to me more the front office. And Bobby, I'm going to do a shameless plug here. Tuesday, I don't want to announce the guest, but I have a guest coming on Tuesday night, nice. 8:30. We talked about it before, Bobby, but nothing's definitively said, so I'm not going to announce it yet. But on the Fitz Faithful Pod YouTube, Tuesday night at 8:30, I'll have a guest on, and I'm going to get into a little bit of the Chris Greer thing with this guest, because to me, all my eyes are on Chris Greer. Nobody else. I've said this. I might even have put out a tweet back in 21.
Interesting.
I think I like the teardown, right? When back in 2020 or 19, when we said, here's the rebuild to get the quarterback, I liked it. My concern was who was buying the groceries, and it was Chris Greer. And I think finally we might look back and say, maybe that's been the problem the whole time, and nobody's realizing it here.
It's always been the problem. He's been here 20 plus years. Scout. Who do you think scouted all? Who else that crapped out on us? Charles Harris. All of this is him the past 20 years scouting. The past what? Since 2006, he's been the GM. You tell me how many times we changed coaches ever since 2006.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, you can say quarterback too. For that.
We know the common denominator. It's not Tua anymore because he's not playing. But if we don't succeed moving forward with our personnel, we know it's Greer. But nobody's going to do nothing to Greer because he knows where the bodies are buried.
Yeah, you know what though? The problem I have, Cap, is that Greer. Everybody wants to blame Greer, but if you look at it, he's plugged in key players, and he's done miraculous things with our salary. I mean, yeah, we put in some other guys that were paid, but no. You did already, okay? Now you got to just take what you got and put it out there.
Salary cap wise, that's fine. Free agent wise, that's fine. But draft wise, the guy cannot draft if it's to save his life, bro. If it works out, it works out. But he needs to last the whole season.
Then find somebody else on the draft. I wouldn't get rid of Chris Greer, to be honest with you.
So Ralph and I have talked about this a lot, and I will also say here full disclosure in regards to Chris Greer. I'll say this now.
Yeah, I like it.
It's very look. You look at.
Oh, this phone sucks. Sorry, guys.
You're good, bro. Don't worry about it, Cap.
Bro.
It's all good. If getting Tyreek and getting you get in Jalen Ramsey, made the move there. You get the Terran Armstead. Raheem Mostert trade. Whatever. Very nice. When we go to stores, when I'm working at the grocery store, working at Walgreens when I was a teen, younger, one of my first jobs, you face the store, you bring all the nice stuff up. And then you got things behind it, and you kind of make her, to me, that's what the Miami's roster is. It's very nice up front. You look at the starters, you go, damn, man, we got Tyreek, we got Waddle, we got Devon Achen and Raheem Mostert. Oh, man, look, Janu. There's Tua, man. Tua's been doing. Oh, look, Jalen. What's behind them? That's what's important. And we're going to Greer. Kudos to making those trades, and it's you got a trade here, you got some free agents. But what did
salary
you do to build
cap, free
it?
agency? Yeah.
What did you do to build behind it? That's my point. You go, okay, we're gonna go ahead and extend Tua because we don't have anybody else. We got to extend Tua. All right, you're gonna do that. His history. Who do you have behind Tua? We got Mike White and Skylar Thompson. Okay, look. Terran Armstead, Robert Jones, Aaron Brewer, Eichenberg, Austin Jackson. You guys are more worried about the offensive line than we are. What happens in week 2? Armstead goes down. You plug in Kendall Lamb. Offensive line was nothing. So that's where I say, look, I'm not going to put all the blame on Chris Greer because guess what? The blame goes on Mike McDaniel as well. Mike McDaniel has enough say to say, hey, man, we need to get some guys behind our offensive line. We need to go out.
Yeah, but who hired McDaniel, Bobby?
I get it. No, I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is that I'm not taking the blame away from Greer, but I'm going to add it on McDaniel too because Mike McDaniel can easily say, hey, don't sign Odell Beckham Jr. He's injured. We could get him after the bye if he was bad. Use that money and go get a quality veteran left guard or go get a quality.
I agree. 1,000%.
Do that. They didn't do that. That's why, again, Tyreek and Jalen Waddle look really sexy as your starting wide receivers. They ain't no doubt. They're 1 and 2 in the NFL. Who's your wide receiver 3? Braxton Barrios who can't catch a ball?
He sucks. I can't stand.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, it goes on both of them. It goes on Greer too. It's like
my thing is, if you know what's going on with the O-line and you hear the offensive line talks last year, so you had a press conference with McDaniel and you're telling us, you guys are more worried about it than we are, and then you double down and say it again. That tells me that he's trying to prove a point and say, hey, I can do this without you telling me what to do. Let me run my team. Okay, I get that. But if you don't know what the hell you're doing when it comes to people that are hurt and you're trying to prove a point after that, then you're playing with somebody's life.
So let me say this very quick because I know a lot of people are bringing up the cap. George, I'll let you follow up. This is from Spotrac. I said this at the top of the show. But Spotrac, because to give clarity on the contract situation for Tua Tagovailoa, while a full recovery is the only real focus here in response to questions regarding Tua's contract, this deal includes $167 million guaranteed for injury, $43 million of which has been already paid in 2024. If he's medically cleared to return to football but opts to retire, he will forego the remaining $124 million guaranteed unless Miami agrees to a settlement. If he's medically forced into retirement, which means like, hey, I want to play, but you can't, dude. You're done. This is the injury. The doctors say you can't do it. If he's forced into retirement, rather than making that decision on his own, he has the right to collect the remaining $124 million on the guarantee. The other side of this equation, this is from Spotrac. I'm reading the tweet. The other side of this equation gets a little tougher. If Tua is able to pass a physical next March, the Dolphins will have the ability to release him with only, quote unquote, his $50 million of 2025 compensation on the hook. The 2026 compensation, which is $54 million, becomes fully guaranteed on March 14th. A post-June 1st release prior to this means $83.6 million of dead cap across 25-26.
Crazy.
George.
No, this is not no injury settlement coming, Bobby. This is going to be a situation where Flores is suing the Dolphins, just like past players sued the Dolphins. I'm going to tell you now, if this thing doesn't work in the favor of the front office trying to get this cleared out without making a stink and end up making a stink in the favor of the Dolphins, Tua can sue the Dolphins.
So let me ask you, Cap. I'll start with you and then George follow up and then Ralph.
All right.
Cap, what would you do where would you go right now? If you're running the Dolphins with the options you have, Tua's out, however long he's going to be. Skyler is your 1, Tim Boyle's your number 2. Do you ride it out with Skylar until Tua comes back? Do you go and try to get someone else to come in a couple weeks to start in a couple weeks? Or do you say, you know what, we're going to ride it out with Skylar. Tua is not going to be able to come back whether he's cleared or not. We're making a decision to move on, and we're going to go and try to find one at the end of the season. What would you do if you were in Chris Greer's shoes today?
Oh man, let the other guys answer that because I have to think about this one.
All right,
in a nice way.
Okay, George. Go ahead, George.
I think if we're talking about immediate, like this week, find somebody you like, maybe off a practice squad or a free agent for now until we get more clarity on the Tua situation. Because if it is long term, honestly, I ride Skyler because guess where I'm looking? Next year's draft class to find a quarterback. Because if Tua's not playing this year, let's be honest, guys, we're not going to make any noise. We might not even get into the playoffs because of the way this team is built. Yeah, there's talent, but the offense is run and tailored to Tua, and it's just, I wouldn't expect us with Skyler starting the rest of the season. How many games do you think we'll realistically win? 7 at the most, 8. So I'm looking at next year's draft class if it's a long-term thing. If it's short-term, Mac Jones is a guy I would consider because, he kind of had, he's accurate. He comes from the Alabama system. What are we picking from? There's not much. The hot name is Jimmy Garoppolo, right?
Well,
That's Jimmy G is probably the best name. If you want to win this season, Jimmy G. If you're looking to win.
The names that and Spotrac had that as well. I just took that off, but obviously number 1 was Ryan Tannehill on there. You had Ben DiNucci, Trey Lance from Dallas, Josh Dobbs from San Francisco, Trevor Siemian, Matt Barkley. Obviously Jimmy G wasn't on that list, but Jimmy G's one. I'm trying to think of the other name on there. Carson Wentz, someone brought up earlier.
Yeah, the thing, I know everybody likes Tannehill. I just don't know if Tannehill will fit this. I don't know if Tannehill would come back here, to be honest. Mutually, I don't know.
The problem with Tannehill is he doesn't fit this system.
Yeah,
I myself was a Tannehill backer when he was in the game. I liked him. I like how accurate he was when he would run the ball and throw it. But he does not fit this system, and I believe he's going to be more of a deterrent than helping. I was writing it out with Skyler.
Isn't our coach known as a quarterback guru?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, it is Mike McDaniel, quarterback guru. Yeah. What he did with
quarterback guru, but not a miracle worker.
That's not a miracle worker for sure.
Hey, look, Bobby lived in Tennessee. Was Tannehill that bad, Bobby?
No, absolutely not.
I like Tannehill when he was in Miami. I liked him. He doesn't fit the system that we're running.
Let me just say, first off, let me just say this. Mike McDaniel has said this about the system because they asked the same thing about when Tua was the quarterback because they didn't have a Tua quarterback in San Francisco. They said, how are you going to fit the system? How are you going to adjust Tua to the system, to your system in San Francisco? He goes, you don't fit the player to the system. You fit the system around the player. So
correct.
If you go get Ryan Tannehill, Skylar Thompson is not Tua Tagovailoa. He's not as accurate as Tua. He's not Tua. Okay.
100%.
So right now, Skylar doesn't fit the system. What is Miami doing? What is Mike McDaniel doing? He's fitting the offense around Skylar. How can we play to Skylar's strength? You go get a Ryan Tannehill, and I agree on Jimmy G. He has concussion issues as well. If you go get Ryan Tannehill, you say, okay, what are your strengths? First off, he's a veteran. He has playoff experience. He's won in the playoffs with very good teams. That is why you go do it. It's not about fitting in the system because Mike McDaniel's his claim to fame is building the offense around the player. That's what he did with Tua. That's why Tua didn't win or was good or successful with Brian Flores, minus off the field. He wasn't doing well with Flores because the offense wasn't built, or he didn't mold the offense around Tua. Mike McDaniel came in, brought the San Francisco offense, and molded it to bring out Tua's strengths. So it could be Dobbs, it could be Tannehill, it could be Mac Jones, it could be whomever. Mike McDaniel, as a coach, is going to mold the offense around the quarterback. And this is why I said the season's not over. It's week 2. I understand the concept of, man, without Tua, what are we going to be able to do? I get it. But it's week 2. This is on Coach McDaniel.
Yeah.
This is the ultimate test. You had a hand in building this football team. You knew Tua's history. You knew the offensive line history. You were comfortable going to this season with this football team. You knew the hype and everything going into this team. You lost your quarterback in week 2, not week 6, not week 10, not week 12. This is week 2 of the season. It's on you. You need to figure this out. It's up to you now to show, damn, I could do this job. I am the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. I got to get Skylar Thompson to play the best football he can, or I need to figure out really freaking quick that I need to go get someone else. That's what I'm saying. There's no excuses. Because at the end of the season, when people go, oh, remember, though, Tua was hurt. Oh, this guy was hurt. No. You knew. You knew their history. There's no excuse.
Let me jump in real quick, Cap.
Go ahead, George, and then we'll get Cap.
All right. So you're in favor of Tannehill, right? Like you would be in favor of him coming back.
Oh, I'm down with Tannehill. Yeah. If we go get Tannehill, I'm cool with it.
All right, here, and I agree with you that McDaniel's claim to fame is you build around with the personnel you have. It's the correct way to do it. But Tannehill's strength, power running game, play action. The offensive line, what we don't have is a power back. We don't have a physical offensive line up front. And Tannehill's pocket presence, bro, is pretty bad.
Let me slow down very quick.
I just don't think they have I don't think they have the personnel to fit what Tannehill's strengths would be.
Oh, okay. Real quick. Because didn't Tannehill flourish with a running game?
Yes.
Don't we have a running game?
Yes.
What's the problem?
Well, let me just say this, because I heard the offensive line. I heard that. Here's something people go, oh, man, but when it was to talk about Tannehill before, Derrick Henry before. Same thing with Tannehill. When I was talking about Derrick Henry, they're like, oh, but Derrick Henry needs an offensive line, blah, blah, blah. Same thing with Tannehill. Oh, but Tannehill needs their best seasons in the year before they ended up all dispersing with Tannehill. They had the worst offensive line in football. The worst. Number 30.
Can you say that again, Bobby? My phone cracked out. Can you say that again?
The Tennessee Titans, when Derrick Henry ran for almost 2,000 yards and Tannehill was having big numbers, they went to play. They had the worst, and even the last season they played, the worst offensive line in football. The worst. That's why I'm saying, again, veteran presence. Might not have the best pocket presence. Hell, Tua, a lot of people say it's a great pocket presence. He throws in 2 whatever seconds. How many times has he been out? How many times have we lost him?
Yeah, right.
In the backfield and also running the ball.
Good point.
Hill has no pocket presence. How many times has he been out? That's all I'm saying.
Well, pocket presence is not necessarily how many yards you scramble for. It's the little things you do in it. Like Marino had great pocket presence. You know what I mean?
Yes. Well, you're aware of the situation around you.
I think part of why we say, okay, the offensive line is a good pass blocking line. Part of it is how quickly we get out the ball. I don't know what our win rate efficiency is. Yeah. But if we have a quarterback, we're not having this system where the ball's coming out quick. You're going to see even a guy like Austin Jackson who plays well. You'll see him take a decline. Besides Armstead, I think everybody in that line will, on their pass blocking, will take a hit, because that's the reason why it's the system. They only ask you to block for 2 seconds, and that's it. That's why on the inside they go serviceable inside. They spend money on the tackles, and then they also on the center. Guards, serviceable. And that's how they get away with it. And that's their mindset, which is now biting them in the butt, and it could cost some people their jobs. It should.
It should.
Well, think about it, though. Everybody got extensions, right? Finch Faithful, everybody got extensions except for Greer. So it benefits him to do what the fans say right now, because if this doesn't work in his favor, are you really going to give that man an extension too?
No, I'm going to be clear, and I'll say it on here, and I'll say it on mine. If this doesn't work out with Tua, right? If they give him the chance to again reset the team and pick a quarterback, bro, I'll see you in 2030. We'll talk then, because there's no.
Okay, I'd like to say something. Okay, with this thing with the quarterback, Tua makes that offense look easy. That offensive line, because he gets rid of the ball so quickly, we're really going to see a decline anyway. Because I don't know whoever you put back there, they better freaking block for them, because we need to get the running game going. And you have Tyreek and Waddle, but not even the other guy is back yet. Okay, we haven't even seen him, Junior, or whatever his name is. I think that this team with the defense that we have, we're going to be able to play good defense. We have a running game. Let's use it. But the front line is going to change with the quarterback you get in, because they need no time almost to throw the ball and be accurate. So good luck to us, okay?
It covers a lot of the problems. And
yeah.
And you make a good point, Ralph. Another quarterback who doesn't have the release and is able to quickly get the ball out, you'd be complaining about this offense. Even with Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, you'd be complaining about it.
For sure.
So, it does. I know, Bobby, you said, it's for McDaniel to fit the personnel around the guys he had, but I think it's a little harder than we realize in the beginning of the season or mid-season to kind of do that kind of thing. But I hear you, Bobby, though. I hear you. I know you're on the Ryan Tannehill
No,
train.
but I know what Bobby's saying. It is a system. Sorry. I know what Bobby's saying. It is a system.
Yeah.
And this coach is in a system. Go ahead. Sorry, George.
Cap, go ahead, Bobby.
No, I'm done too. Go ahead.
No. Charmaine says Flacco, Russell, or Trey Lance. That's a name that she's thrown out there. Again, what I'm saying is, yes, I'm not against Ryan Tannehill. I'm not against it. I'm down with it. Josh Dobbs is the guy. Josh Dobbs is the guy. Hey, I've seen Tannehill. I've watched Tannehill, obviously, in Miami, but I watched him in Tennessee too. And I've seen what he's done with a bad offensive line. And again, that's why, Miami's offensive line ain't great. That's why Tannehill, you think Tua throws 2-point-something seconds because he can dilate the offense or calculate the offense so well? No, it's because if he doesn't throw out 2-point whatever seconds, he gets his ass kicked. Just like he did, that's why he's been out 4 times.
100%.
That's why. It's you adjusting. Oh, shoot. Tannehill was in that offense. He had the 32nd worst offensive line in football with the Tennessee Titans. Now, again, I'm not saying if it's not Tannehill, all the season's over. I'm saying that's a veteran, just like I
like Josh Dobbs. Josh Dobbs is nice, but I don't think they do that.
Before the season, I said Josh Dobbs out of Tennessee, who played in Pittsburgh.
I like Dobbs.
Who stepped in for Tennessee Titans as well, and who's currently in San Francisco with Kyle Shanahan. He's a good player. Like, he's not somebody like, he's a starter for forever. No, but he's a guy who can come in and win you some football games. He's a smart veteran player. He knows how to play football. That's a guy. And again, even if Ryan Tannehill came tomorrow, it's not Ryan Tannehill or Josh Dobbs or whomever starting against Seahawks. It's
we're asking for is to give Skyler the same chance, bro. Just give him. If he's going to get knocked out of the game too, you're not doing the fan base a favor by having nobody to back up Skyler either.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah. We can't get around
when Skyler goes down?
Yeah, you need a good backup somewhere.
What happens if Skyler goes down?
You guys don't like Tim Boyle?
Hell no.
That's it. Bro, Skyler goes down, we're going to see people from the stands maybe.
No, well, my thing is, look, the Cleveland Browns can run it with the offensive line they got last year without a quarterback. I know our offensive line is a little bit suspect, but we have the speed to counteract for that. My thing is, why not have that same mindset?
Yeah.
And let me just say this.
Good point.
First off, Drew's in the house. Thank you. I will say that, again, that's what I'm saying. We're saying all these names. I would not be surprised if Miami turned around and brought back Mike White.
Oh, neither would I.
I hope not.
The most likely thing they'll do.
I hope not, but I have a feeling.
Bro, let me tell you something, bro. I really think Mike White says, like, all right, y'all going to get rid of me? Okay, I got a couple of things I got to tell McDermott over here. You don't think that worked out either in that way? Because that game was way too sloppy for them just to be at the right place at the right time for those picks.
Yeah, and let me say, Coach Jay, thank you for watching, man. I appreciate you. He says, if Tannehill understands he's not the future guy and plays that role to help Skyler, we can win some games, I think. That's why. That's another reason. You bring in a veteran, someone who knows what it's like to come in a situation, someone who's been there and done that he can help Skyler, especially in the Seattle game. Hey, man, you missed this part over here. You watch this, do this, do this. Now, if Skyler can't do it in Seattle and misses out on whatever the Titans game, then you move forward. But I'd say the veteran presence back there would help Skyler, that voice back there. I think that's another one. Richard says, I'm listening to this chatter. Nobody is facing reality. The season is over. No matter who you got back there, I'm sorry, the truth hurts. You may feel any way you want to feel.
It's not over until it's over, bro.
It ain't over till it's over. It's week 2.
So the fat lady sings, brother.
That's right.
Hey, what was it? Belushi said it's not over. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
Hey,
my goodness.
We're about an hour and a half in, but we'll wrap this up, guys. Again, it is week 2. We'll see what happens from here. In regards of Tua and his, hopefully he's doing all right. Hopefully he's doing well. And hopefully, whatever decision he makes in the best interest of his family and for himself and his future. With the Dolphins, whatever decision Tua makes, you got a harder decision to make, because either you ride it with Tua and you live with the consequence, or you say, hey, Tua, we love you, but sorry, we can't do this. We got to move forward. It's a tough decision, but as Miami fans, it's week 2, guys. I understand the hurt. I understand the frustration. I get it. Let's root on Skylar Thompson. Let's root on this Miami Dolphin offense. We still have Devon Achane, who's a superstar. We still have Tyreek Hill, the number 1 player in football, voted by his peers. Number 1 player in football. You have Jalen Waddle. You got Janu. You got Jalen Ramsey back there. You still have a squad. Let's hope that Mike White is what they believe he is, because they decided to make him the backup. You make a guy your backup quarterback because you believe he can win you games when the other one goes down. Let's see how smart these guys really are. Let's root on Skylar Thompson. Cap, any final words?
Yeah, man, I need to get a new phone, man. But besides that, man, just keep pushing, man. Don't stop. You got the content, you got the followers, you got the channel. We're getting more Dolphin fans to start supporting this team. I don't want to see no more content creators jumping ship or other fans saying it's over. If that's the case, then, man, all I can tell you is I wish you the best, but we're okay over here.
Got you, brother. Got you. George?
100%, Cap.
100%. Take care. Thanks, Bobby.
Appreciate you, Cap. George, any final thoughts, brother?
Yeah, I mean, the football stuff will play out on its own. I think we're going to find out a lot about who Mike McDaniel is with adversity. We're going to find out a lot about him this year, because I don't anticipate Tua being back anytime soon. But just hope Tua's okay. I hope he's feeling better, man, because this is bigger than football for him. And, yeah, that's it. Check out the Tuesday night, 8:30. Check out the Fins Faithful Pod YouTube. We're going live. Check it out. Come on over, guys. And again,
to find out who he's going to have, go check out at Fins Faithful Pod on Twitter, on X. He'll announce his guest. Guys, I can't say enough about George and the Fins Faithful podcast. He's a friend of the channel, my personal friend. He does awesome work. I'm very excited about what he has in store for Dolphin fans moving forward. I'm excited to find out who his guest is. I'm going to find out after the show. I can't say it live.
Yeah, we'll talk. I got to ask you a few questions anyways, brother.
Okay, brother. And let's see here. And if you all think it's over, Fins up. Jose, Ralphie boy, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I'd like to tell the fans that, you guys know how it is. It's the fans. They're in and out all the time. Whatever happens, I'm still a Dolphin fan. Lose, win, or draw, I bleed aqua orange. And guess what? It's going to be a long season, guys. A long season. But hopefully, it'll be something we can remember for the positive. And like you said, Bobby, I think they need to make a decision. And if he does go, good luck to him. I hope he stays, but I hope he doesn't get hurt again either. Let me not contradict myself. I just did. Anyway, fans, fins up.
Hey, nice to meet you, Ruff.
All right. So, guys, everyone who's tuned in, let me just thank you all. For those who are in the comments, Jose, he says, you're a true fan, Raphael. Yes, he is. Ralph's my stepfather. He raised me as a Dolphins fan. That's why I do this. This is why I got this on. That's what it's all about. It's all from that guy right
there. You're doing a great job, bro. We love you, man. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. The Drew, thank you for watching. Cat for Life, thank you for joining. I got love for you, brother. Richard, thank you for tuning in, my man. I feel you. Lo-Fi, Aladino, Steve Malloy, host of Real Talk Rants. PB, Charmaine, thank you. Appreciate you watching. Brian, thank you. It was a mess on Tuesday. Eric, as always, he says Mariota. That's an interesting name. Let me make sure I'm not missing anybody. If I do, forgive me. AP Ryan. All right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate you. Hit that like and subscribe button. But most importantly, as always, Dolphin fans, fins up.
Fins up. Bobby boy.
With Bobby and Hank, they're your best friends. Podcast popping every week, no delay. Join the crew, Fins.